In today's video, we are going to create Redis database in Node.js. So first of all, for those who don't know, Redis is a key value based in-memory database. So here key value based means you can only store a key and a corresponding value in this database. And in-memory means the data will reside in the RAM, and whenever you are going to restart the database server, the data will flush out. The database like Redis are used for fast communication because writing and reading data from a RAM or in memory is fast. It is faster than other persistent databases. So now in this video, we are going to create a replication of Redis database in a Node.js. We are going to create a command line interface as well to deal with this database. Along with creating this database, we are going to discuss how we should plan our project if we have to build something like this. So keep watching till the end. So now let's get started. So first we are going to create a basic Node.js project. So let me open out of my terminal, and inside that I'm going to route to my desktop, and here I'm going to create a folder. So on the desktop I'm going to create that. Let's create a new folder. So now we are going to name it as our Redis node or node Redis, or we can name it as a Nedis. So from command prompt I'm going to get inside this folder. First I will create my node project npm init. So name I will keep it as it is, version will same, description I can put Redis clone in Node.js, and entry point will be index.js. Test I will leave, GitHub leave, keep everything leave. So now my basic project is ready. So I am going to open this in my Visual Studio. Now let's first discuss the approach, how we are going to build this project and what are the steps we are going to take. So first thing what we have to do is to create a command line interface using Node.js. From this project, what I can do, I can open my command prompt and I can hit commands to read and write data from this database. What are the basic commands that we will be needing in our database? Get and set. So what get will do? Get will get the value of the given key, and set will set the value of the given key. So we have to create two different commands for that. So how exactly are we going to do that? So for that, let's open our package.json. So here you can see the details of the project. So let's get started to build this application. So we have to define two different commands over here. We have to give the corresponding scripts to run when these commands are called. So for that, I'm going to define a new key inside here that will be bin. And bin will be an object where we can give different command names, and we also have to define the script over here, what we have to do on call of this command. So first will be get key. Obviously this command will get the value of the key, and another will be set key, and this will set the value of a key. Now first let's create a folder over here named as bin, and inside this bin we are going to define different scripts. So now we are going to create two different scripts inside this folder. So let's create getKey.js, and similarly we are going to create setKey.js. Open this package.json again, and we have to give the path of that script over here. So we have to say /bin/getkey.js, and same for the set key. So now we have given our definitions. Now let's put something into these scripts just to test it. So how do we have to write these scripts? Similar to bash scripts or any other script. So first we have to define the command which we have to run on this script, and that will be our user bin and node. Now here for testing we are just going to add console, which will print our file name, and similar we are going to do in this set key file as well. So now our application is ready, and the application name will be Nedis. Let's try to install it and get started running these commands. So for that we have to go to our command prompt and install the application globally. So for that we have to just do npm install -g. This command will install this application globally. So here you can see that two different scripts have been installed, and our application Redis has been installed in the global node modules. So let's try to run these commands. So first command will be get key. When I run get key, I can see that on command line the get key has been printed, and similarly for set key also we will see that set key has been printed. So now our application is running successfully. So now all we have to do is to implement the features of Redis. First, let's discuss how we are going to do that. So we are going to maintain a global object into which we are going to set and get the value from that. So now it's time to put some definition inside this files. So what we are going to do, we are going to create a file where we are going to maintain a data, and from this get key script and set key script we are going to get the value from that data and set the value on that data respectively. So let's create that file first. So I'm going to create a new file and I'm going to name that as a data.json. So now what we are going to do, we are going to add an empty JSON inside that. First we have to set some values in this key. So what I'm going to do is to use a Node.js file system, which is fs, and I'm going to require it, and I'm going to read the file JSON and add some value to it, and then again I'm going to write that value to that file. So fs dot read file, first I'm going to read that file and I have to give the path. So I am going to define the path over here. File path is equals to, and this path should be with respect to the main folder, so it will be /bin/data.json. Now I'm going to pass this as a first argument of this read file. Second, I have to write what format I want to read that file, so that will be UTF-8. And the third argument will be the callback. So in the callback I'm going to get the error as a first argument and data as a second. So to avoid errors, I'm going to handle it as if error. I'm going to just console it so that we come to know that there is some error. Then I will create a new variable, my data, and I'm going to parse this data, json.parse, and I'm going to get this data as data. Okay, now I have this data in my data and I'm going to change it. For test, I'm going to just put it as a test. I will assign a value as a value for now. Now a value has been assigned to one of the keys to the data. I'm going to write this back into the file. So fs dot write file, first argument will always be the file path. Second will be the data. So data, I'm going to put it as a stringified value. My data. And the third will be the mode of data I am providing, so that will be ATF UTF-8 again. And the fourth argument will be the callback. So here in the callback, all we have to do is to check the errors. Now my set key is ready. Similarly, I'm going to define this in the get key also. So I'm going to copy these two lines, and all we have to do is here is to just read the file. Okay, so read file will be read file, and similarly file path, content type, and the callback. First check for the error. For now, for testing, just print the value. So now let's first test the set command. So set command is set key and enter. So set key is printed, and I'm going to print now get key. So in get key I can see the whole JSON over here. Now the next step will be passing some values from the command line. In order to get the values from the command line, we have to use process.n in the Node.js. So we are going to use that. So let's define key in this. So let's constant key will be process.argument. An argument is an array, so in which we have the list of arguments on the command. So first is always a node, second is always the key file name, which is getKey.js. The third will be the name of the key. So we have to use the third argument, and for the value for that key we have to print. So what we are going to do, we are going to take our data, my data, into my data, and then we have to pass it and now we have to print the value. So for log my data, and we have to print the value for the key. And now we will remove this console as well, and set key we are going to pass two arguments. So key will be in the third argument, and similarly we are going to have a value in the fourth. So here we are going to set the value of the key in my data, and value will be the value, actual value. And here also I'm going to remove this console, and instead of that I'm going to print some message inside after writing this value. So here I'm going to use key. So I'm going to say key is set to value. Now this changes will actually add some key and get some key from the data. So let's try this. So now I'm going to say set key ABC as 10. So I can read here like ABC is set to 10. Now I want to get the value of ABC. So I will say get ABC, and the value of 10 is printed. So similarly you can add any number of keys inside this, and this will be your database. So what are the next step you can do by yourself are like you can add other features as well. Like let's say if you want to delete some key from the JSON, then you can add that functionality as well. So what you have to do in order to do that? So first step will be in package.json you have to add the bin, and then you have to create a separate script for that, and in that you have to delete the value of that according to that. What are the other things you should keep in mind? That you have to throw errors when user does not pass any argument with get key or set key. So that I will give you as a task to do. Now thanks everyone for watching whole of the video. If you like the video, hit the subscribe button down there and get ready to get more awesome videos like this.